I love hearing people didn't like it. I love people talking about I hated this. That means because it worked. It means your dumb ass didn't get. Not you. Not you. So you understand things. I'm talking about people out there who just don't get it. But this right here. There's a movie that we didn't get to review because it's a movie that's being talked about by a lot of people, but a lot of people haven't seen it.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, well, shit, if it's that good, then how come it's not going around? Because it's weird.
Yeah, it's one of those movies that the Alamo Drafthouse is pimping out hard.
Yeah, they bought it and they're pimping it hard. And it is one of those where it's hard to categorize it.
Drafthouse is pimping that out. They usually got rape in it and, some...
I think they backed off.
A lot of Asian people getting their heads blown off and stuff. It's while raping somebody. They kind of backed off on that a little bit. And now we got some interesting projects that they like to go out there and promote. And this is one of the highlights. Colossal right here, man. Now, here's the thing about it. What I mean that this is weird. This is a movie where it has Anne Hathaway and a giant monster. And some other people like Jason Sudeikis and some other names that you'd recognize. Now, when you hear that, the other thing with this is that people don't know what to do with this film because when you pitch it that way, Anne Hathaway, because a lot of people heard about it, Anne Hathaway and a monster, everybody thinking, oh shit, it's going to be some Pacific Rim 2 shit.
Oh, forget about that. I've been seeing ads on TV where they pitch it like a romantic comedy.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It is so not that.
No, it's not.
No. Anne Hathaway fucks a giant monster. I got to see that. No. She don't dress up like no Power Ranger. Don't get into a robot and fight this creature right here. It is hard. And for those of you who are thinking about this and saying, I want to see this because, I can't wait to see Anne Hathaway fight this monster and they both tear up shit. It is, turn your car around. Go home.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to hear your mouth when you're walking out the theater. Man, what the fuck was that?
The monsters barely fought.
It's not just Anne Hathaway and a giant monster. Anne Hathaway is the monster in this movie. And she don't look. This ain't nothing where she transforms or, she...
There's no Sailor Moon transformation.
No, this ain't no anime shit where, she in a flash of light, all of a sudden she's Godzilla or something. No, it ain't none of that. It's actually, and people say, well, why should I see it then? Because it's smart. Some people are like, well, fuck that.
I know.
No.
Make me feel dumb.
Yeah.
I like giant monsters.
Mix intelligence with my giant creatures. Who the hell you think you are? But let's go ahead and watch the trailer for this, and then we'll come back. And even the trailer is a little confusing, but we'll try to come back and give you the most non-spoilery review of this film that we can after this.
Keep it cool, because people are looking at us.
She's the monster.
Again.
You see that? It makes it look like it's all fun and madcap.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They sitting at a fucking diner like, what's that movie with Billy Crystal? And,
When Harry Met Sally.
Harry Met Sally. Oh, shit, our own John Monster's here. I was like, where'd that voice come from?
The Nether, how you doing?
Oh, let me go ahead and get you in here. Mr. Goodwin, sir. How you
Hey,
doing?
pretty good. How about you, man?
Oh, doing well. Glad to see you here, man. Y'all move over just a little bit. Yeah.
That's a nice shirt, dude.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you. This is my Easter Sunday shirt. Oh, look at my handsome young gentleman over there. Ain't y'all cute? Oh, my God. Take a picture, man. Now, here's the thing with this. One more time. This is not the monster movie that you're thinking about. It's not the comedy that you're thinking about. They need to have one of the people that work in the theater in front of the door.
Stop you.
Just for you dumb motherfuckers that pull up. You in that fucking truck with 5 wheels on it, no, turn your ass back around and go, because you're not going to like this. And the reason why, because you get the creature in here. You saw him stomping around, tearing Seoul, Korea up. And that's the thing about it. A mysterious creature shows up in Seoul, Korea, pops up out of thin air, and just kind of stays in one place, looking confused, dancing. And every now and then, it will wreck some shit. And the reason why is because Anne Hathaway is sort of an avatar for the creature. Whenever she moves around, the creature moves around, right down to her trademark monkey head scratching move that she got. That's the one that really gives it away. Except when she does it, it's cute. When her avatar, the giant creature, does it, he tears up shit and kills people. But the whole creature thing is a metaphor for relationships. And not even romantic relationships.
No.
And like it's more like really needy people. And I would, I'm not going to tell everybody to do their review, but I would implore people not to say too much because I was watching this. I was like, man, it's going to be kind of hard to talk about this.
Well, yeah, because when you watch that trailer, there's a big thing that they leave out.
And they edited out on purpose from that trailer.
Yeah. And it's the biggest shock when you watch the movie. And I don't know how to talk about it without going into that.
Yeah.
Now, with this, the director's name here is
Nacho Vigalondo.
Nacho Vigalondo. He comes to Austin. He hangs out with the Alamo. That's why they're pimping him out too, because he's a big feature at the Fantastic Fest that they do here. This guy comes here. He gets drunk.
Yeah, he's a larger than life character who's pretty wild.
Oh yeah. I mean, that look that you see, because we're showing a picture of him, and he looks just like he acts at these parties. Fucking nuts. He's at these parties. He's drinking his ass off. He's not even with a date. I saw him by himself at one of these parties, just in the dance circle, just with a bottle of a full bottle of alcohol, just going crazy. And I was like, I said, who the fuck is this guy? I said, they need to get him out of here. And they're like, Court, that's a director.
We invited him.
It's his party.
Yeah. I said, director what? Janitorial service already? Because his boy's crazy. But I tell you what, for a guy who's named after a Mexican snack food, he is amazing with his writing.
Yeah.
He wrote this, and the writing in the movie, without having to spoil anything about the film itself, the way he writes characters, it's highly intelligent. And you wouldn't think that for watching a movie about a giant monster, but that's what the emphasis of the movie is. These characters that he writes have such an amazing story arc, go through such character development that you have. Now, most of these people aren't who you think they are with all the characters in the movie. Mm-hmm. But there are a couple of people, they change so much you don't recognize them from the beginning of the movie to the end.
You get whiplash how quick they change, man. Like, Jesus Christ.
You do.
But they don't change in that way where you go like, oh, come on, where'd that come from? It's like, well, you know what? That was always kind of there under the surface.
Yep. Anne Hathaway at the beginning of the movie, she's a mess, man.
Fuck yes,
Yeah.
I mean, it gets to a point where you don't even like her that much because she's living with a boyfriend. Who's the one that played the boyfriend?
Stevens.
Dan Stevens. Yeah, in the movie, you don't even like her that much because there's a part in the film where her boyfriend is kicking her out. Her boyfriend is telling her, hey, you know what? You got to go. You got to get your life.
She's a drunk.
Yeah, she is a drunk. They're like, you know what? You got to get your life together. And she doesn't know it until he kicks her out. And you're kind of feeling sorry for her until at the end of the movie. I'm just going to show you this part right here because you're like, man, this is a real bitch right here because she gets kicked out. And you're feeling like, oh, that's sad. And then you realize just how much she's taking advantage of her boyfriend.
Probably not. Victoria, where's the plug? My phone is on red right now. I'm trying to order some Chinese food.
I wanted to show you that scene because they go fast, like you said, but they do it in ways that make sense. And they do it visually. Like, man, you felt sorry for her for one moment, and then you realize, wow, you know what, it's not the same thing, but she's almost cheating on her boyfriend because he leaves the house and she has a party.
Right, yeah. Well, I think it was just them getting back from the club that night. It's like, all right, we're going to hang out some more and keep drinking. But I liked how it was, she wasn't like that kind of drunk where they usually show in movies where they're just falling over the stuff and they ruin a wedding or they ruin a party. Like, she was just the social drunk that's like, listen, when I want to hang out and be intimate with you and have a real relationship and goals, you're so drunk or hungover, we can't even have a decent conversation. I was like, wow, I haven't seen that in a movie in a long time.
You said they don't make you hate her. At the start, I kind of did. I've known people like this, and it's like, fuck you. You're a piece of shit.
I'm right here, man.
And to the movie's credit, she does change and develop to the point where you root for her more and more. But when she's first introduced, I was like, Anne Hathaway's great, and she's giving a good performance, and I'm having a lot of fun watching her. But as a character, I'm like, no, fuck you. You're a piece of shit.
There is a lot of that because even later when she changes, moves back to her hometown, she's doing things where I'm like, this is sketchy. Everything was cool until you came in and started pulling this bullshit.
It's nothing to take away from her. you just have to understand that this is really Jason Sudeikis' film.
Yes,
man.
it is.
They barely show in the trailer, and you go like, no, this is all his movie.
It's his movie. I mean, you look at her and like, man, she's doing a good job. And Jason Sudeikis, I mean, snatch that shit from you right now. I'm here. And he is incredible in this film, man. I've always y'all didn't listen to me. Because I told y'all he had them chops when that movie Race came out. You're like, yeah, but that movie ain't no good. And I was like, but that don't mean he's not any good. I said, he's the best thing in the movie. I said, I wish that movie could have been a success because this guy is an amazing actor. You look at him on Saturday Night Live, you take him as a comedian. No, he is an actor with a lot of emotional range.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you know, I mean, as you can tell, he's up in his Negro's face right here. I can act, but he's amazing in the film. And I that's one of the things that I liked about this is that this was so character based. They even have actors in here that I really enjoyed them giving something where they're not they themselves are not typecast for. Tim Blake Nelson is in it. Y'all seen Tim Blake Nelson because he's always a stupid son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I bet you got that picture of him looking nice. I was like, I always see him like a hillbilly.
He's always got the, he's always covered in mud and sweat and hanging out in a swamp somewhere. That's him from Old Brother Where Art Thou. He was the dumb guy. You're like, well, all of them were dumb. Well, think of the dumbest one. That was him. But I've seen him in some movies where that was not him. In this movie, he just plays a regular guy who has some problems and really has this heartbreaking moment in the movie, man.
Yeah.
The movie's really hard to watch, not because of some monster shit in here, but because there's some real uncomfortable moments in this.
Yeah.
It's very, you start out thinking this is going to be a fun little movie, and then this point you in there, you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Man.
But the creature stuff in here is fun, and they try to convince you that it is going to be goofy because it starts out with goofy designs. Like the creature himself looks like a big ass gremlin, and it's and they want to keep it kind of comedic because they want you to go in and be sidetracked by what you think is going to be a comedy. And I'll tell you though, and that's the thing with the monster stuff in here. It's not, they don't do something where they're tearing up the city. They do that probably about once or twice, and they do it because this movie, it ain't a big budget on this. So they said, whatever you're gonna do with this creature, you can't go too far. You have to stand your ass in one spot.
Right
Yeah.
Not Pacific Rim.
Yeah.
He can tear up half a block, and that's about it. And the creature in here doesn't do a whole lot. What they use it for, again, they do it for narrative purposes. But once they get into a fight, you would think that a fight just on the corner would not be that great because they're big monsters and all. They actually do. They do some playground shit with this. Some after school where these two they have creatures. I'm not gonna say them, but they have creatures that fight each other in here, and you root for that shit strong, man. Because when they're fighting, it is some playground shit, and it's like the rest of the world is watching, and the rest of the world, all those kids in the background are going like, ooh.
Yeah.
You hear people in their houses, you don't see them. You know when they're in the house, you people go like, yeah, hit that motherfucker, world star. And this has been a good year for the bitch slap. The bitch slap is made.
Yeah.
That's true, yeah.
There is a bitch slap in this movie where I was like, oh, that's so satisfying. I will say this much about the film, and I'm gonna try to sell this to people as much as I can because I think that it's a movie that I think people need to see. And it's not going to get the attention it deserves because it's so small, and a lot of people are going to think it's too odd to try to pitch to people. But it doesn't. It has its flaws. I mean, for one, I would tell you where you thought that things were happening too quick with the characters. I felt like that whole explanation for why things were happening to certain people, or why this creature was showing up. I thought that was. I thought that was a terrible explanation. I would have rather had them left it a mystery because it worked better that way in the beginning. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. And I don't know how you guys feel about that because I know I look at some things that y'all can just let slide.
No, it was one where I thought it was better unexplained than the way they explained it because it was like, well, we're kind of out of money at this point.
Yeah, and the way he did it looked cool. It was filmed cool for the money that they had, but
it got too metaphorical and something that was already metaphorical to begin with.
And it was cliche.
Yeah.
A certain something happened, a certain effect happened. I'm like, nah, man.
And all this coincidence, it happened to be this. I was like, all right, y'all are doing a little too much right here.
Yeah,
It's late in the film. I've already been enjoying it. I don't appreciate this, but let's just keep it going.
That's the thing. I let it slide too. And some of the effects in here, some of the effects are just terrible. There's a scene where there's a bar is on fire. And you could tell that fire was copied and pasted in by After Effects because it didn't produce no smoke.
Some Tim and Eric shit.
Just make it blurry. They won't do it.
That smoke it was on a loop, and it was not producing any fire. I mean, any smoke, anything. And
well, to that point, like the one thing that actually bothered me was it was nudging at me. I couldn't quite put my finger on it, and then it was like as I was walking out, because Korea, where this is happening in Seoul, they have an alarm that goes off. And they're like, all right, we think the creature's about to show up because it's that time. And the creature does. And, at first it was destroying buildings. They know it's always that potential for that could get destroyed and people to get killed. And yet somehow every day people keep going back to that area. And it's all fixed up like it's never been wrecked ever before. I was like, okay. Because I was like, okay, say even if they had a magic construction crew, wouldn't you be like, I'm calling to work today. I ain't going. Don't expect me there.
Yeah, shit. If I can't take a day off for a giant monster trying to destroy the city, shit, I got a lawsuit for y'all. I mean, I noticed that. Yeah, there was like near the end of the movie where the Seoul, that part of the city should be destroyed. It was still neon lights up and everything.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was because they kept going to different parts. Because I remember if you stand over here, it'll be in the river. If you stand over here, you'll show up in this part of town. I think it was correlated like that.
It could be. I'll let that slide.
Okay, 2 areas of town where you don't go.
But no, the thing is, it was random because they showed up in like 5 different spots during this entire movie, so it wasn't the same area. They showed up, the scene they showed here when they're on the riverside, they showed up there maybe 2 or 3 times, but there were other parts where they went on the playground in different areas and her creature showed up in a different spot of town.
You know something? No matter where they kept popping up, North Korea never looked so good.
It's South Korea.
I know. I'm saying that's what I'm saying. I want to move. Shit, they might be crazy, man. Ain't got no giant ass monster popping up anywhere. I'll give you that. Maybe I didn't see it. Y'all, God damn it, you always see shit I don't see in a movie, and I can't argue with it. But I see what you. I hope that's the case.
Yeah.
But I will say, even with the effects in some scenes not being that great. Here's a lesson for all you people out there. You're writing that big budget script, waiting for the day when you become a director and you can't wait to get that big budget, that $100 million to make it. Throw that shit away and rewrite it. Just keep a page or 2 because this movie feels like, I don't think it wasn't ever intended to be a $100 million big budget movie. This is something where it feels like, all right, you know something? I have a big budget movie, but how can I work with my restraints and make it smarter? I would love to see people work around big, grandiose ideas and do it and pare it down to where you still get that thing in there, but it's smarter because you still get a giant creature movie in here. Sure. And it's, hey, look, you see these creatures more than you see Godzilla in his own fucking movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's and it's much more memorable. It's something you take away something with it. It's like write your movie as if you're only going to ever have $10 million.
Like if you use stick figures to make the monsters pop up.
Yeah. And I would, you know what? If anybody, people can add something to it, but if I'm not selling you on any of this stuff and we are making it sound too smart. And we're making it sound like, it sounds like it's uncomfortable, it's tragic, all these weird emotions going on. At the bottom, at the bottom line here, it is funny. It is a comedy that does work. And when it works, I mean, amidst all the death and all the harsh things that are happening, it's really cute too.
Holy shit. It stopped. What the fuck is going on?
And that's gonna be a lot of people who see this. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
If you're Jason Sudeikis in that scene right there, you might want to stay away. On my last closing thing here to say is that even the comedy in here, it's not just for a cheap laugh. Almost every scene of comedy has a consequence in this movie, right? It's not always good, but I'll go ahead and let you guys take it.
One big thing about this movie was it kept taking turns that I did not expect it to go. I mean, from prime example, when we saw the advertising for this, the whole thing is, it's just a romantic rom-com with a monster that shows up. And it is not that at all. Like you said, the effects were actually done really well for the budget that they had. And another thing is that there were some moments where, I will give you this, Gertz, there were moments where when alcohol wasn't involved, there were some very quick character changes, and I was like, all right, that was a little pushed, but you've bought so much goodwill with me that all right, I'm willing to look past that. I really enjoyed this movie. I had a good time watching it. I wouldn't say everybody should go and see it because this is definitely a niche market and a niche film. But I had a good time watching it. And one thing I really liked about it is how they decided to shoot some of the monster stuff, especially the sound design with the monster stuff when they were still in the the town in New York or New Hampshire, wherever they were. So I really appreciated that. I feel like this movie, it's a matinee. I had a good time watching it. If you were interested in this at all, I do recommend going and checking it out. But if you were looking at this trailer and thinking it's like a rom-com or something like that, no, that's not what this is.
Man, talk about getting whiplash. We were on that road to a full price, and you just suddenly took a turn.
Well, no, that was
matinee.
And the last thing was, I feel like this was too long, man. It was 2 hours and 10 minutes, and it did not need to be that long. And you start feeling that time around an hour 40. Yeah. And that's what bugged me about it. That's why I went down on matinee, because I feel like this was a little bit too long for what it needed to be
Okay, I'm gonna pass this off tomorrow. I'm just getting my rating in there real quick, because all I got to say is bullshit. Everybody should go see it. Quit watching dumb shit. Get smart.
So fuck me, right?
Yeah, no, I mean you're cool, man. I respect your opinion, but no, I ain't using that excuse no more. For once, watch something that actually challenges you or does something different. Martin, you know me. I love when movies come in and when they do something different and it doesn't get too avant-garde, and they put together ideas that make sense.
And that's the thing, when you kept describing it as weird. When somebody says, "Oh, this movie's weird," I think, "Oh, it's going to be avant-garde, and I'm going to hate it." And this is not that. It does do something. For everybody who feels like all these movies are running together, they're all the same thing. It's like, well, here you go. This one does something different. It actually has a story that pulls you in. It's funny because I was on that road of the high matinee, because I paid matinee and saw it in the afternoon. Mm-hmm. But what you just brought up about how long it is, I didn't feel that length at all. I thought it was a short movie. So that to me, that gives it extra points. I give it a full price, because I'm like, you know what? At a time where we really are seeing so much of the same things over and over.
I like the way I was about to get my rating. Martin just pushed me off the stage. No, it's cool. I was gonna pass it to you, but no, you got it out the way. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
You want to give your rating?
No, you go ahead, man. Damn. I want to hear what bullshit you got to say.
I figured. I don't hate this movie. I really don't. I love the concept behind it. It's a really interesting premise, and I think Anne Hathaway is great. For me, she was the standout more so than Jason Sudeikis was. But again, I felt like it's a character-driven movie, and I didn't feel like the characters were written very strongly. And I'm glad you brought up the length, because I felt that way too. I was flirting with giving it between a matinee and a rental, and I had to ask myself, did I have a real good time watching this? Did I enjoy it for the most part? And the answer was, no, not really. Okay. So for me, it's a rental. I was disappointed. Okay. I really wanted to like it a lot.
I love hearing that. I love hearing people didn't like it. I love people talking about, I hated this. That means because it worked. It means your dumb ass didn't get. Not you. You understand things. I'm talking about people out there who just don't get it. But this right here, I got the reaction I expected out of people. I knew a lot of people wouldn't understand. I'm used to that. And you know what?
Get off your high horse, man.
God damn.
Get off before we push you off that shit, man.
I hope someone kicks that soapbox out from under you.
Well, you know what? Okay, let me be fair then. I knew that people would not take to this as well, and I get it.
This ain't the same shit you just said.
It's nice to hear you rephrase it.
But I understand, and the thing is, maybe it's just me. It's just something that appeals to me. I really appreciate things like this when they try to do something different, and I feel like they work. And I thought it would be more accessible to people, but apparently it is not. And I do understand those things. I didn't really like the ending of the movie. I thought that, it kind of ended in a way that took a slight easy way out, and it was kind of puzzling. I was like, damn, just like that. Okay. But still, though, there's enough. I'm always about the writing, and there was enough clever writing with really, really, really original material here that made me say, yes, I wish I could give you better than sex, but those flaws that are there, they're big, and they are enough for me to give this a full price. You gave it a full price. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we get it, Martin. We've been in this game for a while. Quite a few years, man. They'll understand one day.
Again, a matinee is not a bad rating.
But it's not a full price.
You're right, it's not. You were very right.
But you're young, you'll get it. We've been at this for 20 years, Martin.
The way to your heart is monsters, not monsters.
Monsters. That monster up in here. Shit, even the monsters that in here, you're like, yeah, what you say? What you call me? I don't get it.
He's like, really? You give this a full price? I would give it a full price.
Oh. GameFly brings to your house, to you, over 8,000 new releases and classics that are available to rent, or you can buy them for almost every system out there. current and some old systems. Like I said, man, I've been trying to put my GameCube back to work for years. GameFly's giving me an excuse to do that. And you could even try 30 days for free by typing in gameflyoffer.com/double toasted. And when you do that, you'll get 30 days for free of games and movies. Get all those things, all of them at once. Just stay in the house. Don't go nowhere because they're all going to get brought right to your mailbox. You can also bring the element of surprise every month to your home in the form of a Loot Crate mystery box. In that box, I can't tell you what it is, but I can guarantee you it is the best in geek and gaming gear. Some people say it's like having Comic-Con brought right to your home. You don't have to leave the house for nothing. You're getting all kind of stuff. And everybody likes a little surprise every month. Just a little bit. And here's another surprise for you. You know, if you go to our link, trylootcrate.com/double toasted, and you type in bridge 10, that's the word bridge and the number 10, you can get 10% off, a 10% discount on your first crate. How's that for a surprise right there? Loot Crate, bring the mystery and the surprise to your mailbox once a month with Loot Crate. Hey everyone, thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe to our channel and go over to our home, doubletoasted.com, for more videos and live streams. And remember, stay toasty.